This is the story of a midnight train that doesn't appear on any map, and where every passenger's ticket is stamped with their fate. Come aboard. If you dare, watch till the end. The story opens on a rainy night. The station is almost empty, except for a few stray passengers waiting under dim, flickering lights. The camera focuses on Daniel Cross, a 34-year-old investigative journalist, clutching a leather satchel in his camera. His voiceover explains that he's been chasing a strange lead for weeks, say passengers vanishing without a trace after boarding the 11:45 p.m. train from Hollowgate Station. Daniel buys a ticket from a half-asleep clerk, who avoids eye contact and mutters, "You sure you want that train, son?" Daniel brushes it off, thinking it's just superstition. The train arrives slowly, its brakes screeching like nails on metal. The windows are dark, and the faint outline of motionless passengers can be seen inside. As Daniel steps in, a cold draft sweeps past him. He notices the train smells faintly of rust and damp wood, strange for something that's supposed to be in daily service. The doors close behind him with a heavy, almost reluctant thud. The journey begins. Daniel walks down the narrow aisle, his shoes clicking against the wooden floorboards, odd, because modern trains don't have wooden floors anymore. The lighting inside flickers, casting long shadows that stretch unnaturally across the seats. He spots three passengers spaced far apart. A woman in a faded 1940s-style dress, hands folded neatly in her lap, staring straight ahead. A man in a dark overcoat and bowler hat, his head tilted slightly down, as if sleeping. A child clutching a teddy bear, gazing blankly out the window at the pitch-black countryside. Daniel tries to greet them. "Evening," he says with a polite nod. No one reacts, not even a blink. The woman's eyes don't shift, the man's chest doesn't seem to rise with breath, and the child's grip on the teddy bear never loosens. The train's wheels clatter rhythmically, but something feels wrong about the sound, too slow, too deliberate. As Daniel takes a seat a few rows away, he gets the creeping sensation that the passengers aren't alive. Or at least, not anymore. Daniel notices the window glass feels colder than ice. Outside, the scenery no longer matches the route he's taken hundreds of times before. Instead of small towns and familiar stations, the train glides past endless forests of leafless, twisted trees, their branches scratching against the night sky like skeletal fingers. The moon seems unnaturally large, glowing a deep crimson, casting the whole world in a bloody hue. Then, the train plunges into a tunnel, but this one has no lights, no concrete walls, only rock closing in tightly. The darkness swallows everything, and for a moment Daniel can't see his own hands. The sound of the wheels changes, grinding like metal on bone. When light returns, the landscape outside is wrong. The ground is white, not with snow, but with bones, stretching as far as the eye can see. The passengers still haven't moved, but Daniel swears the child's head is now turned toward him, and the teddy bear's glass eyes glint unnaturally in the red light. Daniel's voice sounds small in the vast, unnaturally quiet train. "Hello, is anyone awake?" he calls, his words echoing oddly as if the air itself is heavy. He approaches the man in the dark suit sitting across the aisle. The man's eyes are open, wide, unblinking, but they do not move to meet Daniel's gaze. His skin is paled, almost waxy, and a faint smell of earth clings to him, like damp soil from a freshly dug grave. Daniel waves a hand in front of his face. Nothing, not even a blink. A sudden thought grips him, maybe they're all dead. He forces himself to check another passenger, a young woman with her head tilted slightly forward, hair falling over her face. He gently brushes the hair aside, only to see her lips slowly curl into a faint smile. Though her eyes remain motionless, the smile doesn't fade. Daniel stumbles back, heart pounding, realizing that something is aware of him. Even if these passengers can't or want to speak, Daniel hears it before he sees the slow, deliberate tap, tap, tap of polished shoes against the metal floor. From the far end of the carriage, a tall figure emerges. The conductor is dressed in an old-fashioned uniform, deep navy with tarnished brass buttons, his cap tilted just enough to shadow his eyes. His face is paled, thin, and his lips are pressed into a smile that doesn't quite feel human. Without a word, the conductor reaches into his coat and pulls out a long, yellow ticket. The paper looks aged, like it's been waiting for years. In neat black ink, Daniel sees his own name printed on it, a full name, date of birth, even the current date. But where the destination should be, there's only one word, written in bold letters: final stop. Daniel's voice cracks. What is this? I didn't buy this ticket. The conductor's smile widens just enough to reveal teeth far too sharp. Tickets are always prepared in advance, he says in a voice deep and smooth, but chilling. Then, leaning closer so Daniel can feel the cold breath against his ear, he whispers, "You've been expected." Daniel's grip tightens around the ticket, but before he can speak again, the lights above him flicker. The soft golden glow turns into a sickly green hue, casting long, unnatural shadows along the carriage walls. The air feels heavier, damp, almost like breathing underwater. The polished floorboards beneath his feet ripple like liquid for a moment, then harden again. Daniel glances toward the windows, desperate for a familiar landmark, but what he sees turns his stomach. Outside is no longer a countryside. It's a black, endless void, broken only by flashes of twisted landscapes, warped buildings leaning at impossible angles, forests made of bone-white trees that seem to twitch and turn toward the train as it passes. Every time the lights flicker, the passengers look different. Their faces blur, their skin turns gray, and some have empty, hollow sockets where their eyes should be. And yet, when the lights steady, they're back to normal, reading papers, sipping tea, ignoring him completely. The hum of the train deepens into a low, almost growling vibration that Daniel can feel in his bones. The conductor, now standing in the center of the carriage, tips his hat toward Daniel. "Don't be afraid," he says with a slow, unsettling smile. "We're just between stations." Daniel's heart hammers in his chest. He pushes himself up from the seat, the floor beneath him swaying as if the entire carriage is suspended over something alive. He strides toward the conductor, trying to steady his voice. "What is this place? Where is this train going?" The conductor doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he slowly removes his hat, revealing hair as white as frost, slicked back neatly. His eyes aren't quite human. They shimmer with a faint silver glow, reflecting Daniel's own face, except in the reflection, Daniel looks older and dead pale. "This train," the conductor begins in a voice that echoes faintly, "runs a route most passengers don't know exists." He steps closer, lowering his voice. "It only appears to those whose journeys are almost over." Daniel swallows hard. "I'm not dying." I was just. The words catch in his throat. He can't remember. Where was he before stepping on the train? Was it the station, the street, his home? His mind feels fogged, like whole pieces of memory have been sliced away. The conductor tilts his head. "Are you sure, Mr. Hale?" he asks, as if savoring the doubt in Daniel's eyes. The train lurches suddenly, sending Daniel stumbling back. Through the window, the void outside shifts into a glowing, blood-red horizon, and far in the distance, a massive station looms, its iron gates shaped like open jaws. Panic surges through Daniel as the station grows larger in the distance, its gates yawning wider with every second. The air inside the carriage feels heavier now, thick and hard to breathe, as if the train is descending into somewhere deep and final. He scans the carriage. The windows are narrow, but maybe. He rushes to one, fumbling at the latch, but it won't budge. The glass is cold, too cold, like ice that burns his fingertips. Behind him, the conductor's voice is calm, almost pitying. "No one leaves the train early, Mr. Hale." "It's not permitted." Daniel ignores him and bolts down the aisle, heading for the door at the end of the carriage. He yanks at the handle, locked. He slams his shoulder into it, but it doesn't even rattle. Then he hears it, a low hum, deep and mechanical, but layered with something alive. It's coming from under the floor. He kneels and presses his ear to the wood, and in the hum he hears faint voices, whispering in agony, their words too garbled to understand. The train gives a sudden violent jolt. Daniel looks up at the next carriage door swings open on its own, and a blast of freezing wind rushes in. In the doorway stands a passenger, or what's left of one. A man, skin stretched thin and gray, eyes wide and empty, sways gently as if strung on invisible threads. His mouth opens, and the whispering grows louder. Daniel stumbles backward, his breath hitching as more passengers rise from their seats. Not all of them look human anymore, as some are pale and rigid, others flicker like smoke, their faces melting in a note of recognition. He notices something chilling. None of their feet touch the floor. They hover just slightly, swaying with the rhythm of the train. The man in the doorway drifts closer, his lips moving soundlessly, yet Daniel hears the words inside his head. They took my ticket and my name. And now there's nothing left. Daniel's gaze darts to the small brass tickets pinned to each passenger's chest. They glow faintly, each engraved with the name A, but as he watches, letters fade from them, replaced by black, empty space. One passenger's ticket is now completely blank, and in that instant, the figure collapses into ash and vanishes, sucked through the floor. The truth crashes over him. These aren't passengers at all. They're souls, bound here until the train delivers them to wherever the last stop is. And the conductor isn't just a man, he's their keeper. Daniel's heart pounds as he looks down at his coat. Pinned to his chest is a ticket, and the first letter of his name has already vanished. The whistle howls again, not the metallic cry of steam, but a deep, bone-shaking wail, like something mourning in the dark. Through the fogged window, Daniel sees the station approaching. It isn't made of stone or brick. It's an endless cavern, lit by a sickly, green glow from rivers of molten light snaking below. Jagged pillars rise from the depths, each carved with screaming faces that seem to move as the train passes. The platform is lined with figures in tattered uniforms, not alive, not quite dead, their hollow eyes scanning the arriving passengers. Behind them, colossal black doors stand half open, from which a freezing wind pours out, carrying the distant echo of thousands of voices whispering in unison. The train shudders to a stop. The conductor turns to Daniel, tipping his hat. "It's the end of the line," he says softly, his voice like dry leaves. "Time to hand over your ticket." Daniel glances at it. Only 2 letters remain. His hands tremble as he realizes that once they fade, he will step off this platform and never come back. The doors begin to open wider, and the cold pulls him forward. In the end, the train vanished into the night, a broken bar leaving no trace, as if it never existed. Only the whispers of its passengers remain in the darkness. If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, and share this video. And for more chilling tales, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.